good transition from Kid Rock ticket prices
To you?
stand-up prices.
Yeah, not my first day of the rodeo. Hey, we're so excited. You are coming to Appleton tomorrow night to perform at the Fox Cities Performing Center, a beautiful venue. But you're coming to our city, the Cream City, Friday night, Riverside Theater, and Chicago Saturday night at the Riviera Theater. And
I'm doing a whole freezing sweep.
yeah, that's what I want to talk to you about. We are in 12 straight days of sub-normal temperatures. It's not going to break while you're here. Your last special was called Dandelion, where you admit to being a bit of a dandelion. What are you doing coming? What are you doing coming here in January? Not that we don't love having you here.
Well, you know, usually the touring is better in the winter months, and then summer everyone's out, and then the show starts at 8, but it's still light out, so people don't remember to get home and get ready. And so it's usually better, but I've done all these cities and had a good time. And Appleton, last time I came, I'd never even heard of it. It sold out the fastest. So at least I still have people out there that want to come. And Milwaukee, of course, is a kind of, you know, I always heard about it through Chris Farley in the old days. And so I like to go there, and I will not be staying at the Haunted Hotel, but I will be staying nearby at some one that I hope has heat. Because when I was there last time, I stayed somewhere that didn't have heat. And here's my trick. Can I tell your viewers this?
Please, yeah. Any trick to keep warm, we want to hear it, even if it's from an Arizona guy.
If you're an Arizona guy and you get there, and they sometimes in some hotels they give you like 2 sheets, no big fat blanket. So you take the 2 sheets, you fold them over. Now you get under that taco. It's only 4, but that's better than 2 if you're on Survivor. And then a towel from the bathroom. It just covers your real estate. It's not bad. And if you're still cold, the robe. And if you're still cold, the ironing board with the iron on low, the lowest it goes. And then if you get cottonmouth in the middle of the night, you just press that button. You don't have to stand up. You just go. This is so funny.
And just do it like that. We might not recommend the what would you say, the iron?
Oh, the iron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a trick. You know, we always do these stories here about don't heat your kitchen with an oven, but I grew up in Chicago, and every morning we'd come down to an open oven. Not that that makes it right. It does not make it right.
It happens, though. It happens out there in the real world.
Yeah.
And I'm from Arizona, so when I checked Appleton the other day, it was -11, and I'm like, I never even heard of this. I don't know if that's legal.
It's possible. Trust me, we've lived through it before. Do you have memories of you've played Milwaukee before, of course.
Yeah.
What are Milwaukee audiences like for you?
Milwaukee, they take some of the letters out. It's just Milwaukee. And my buddy's from Sheboygan, so I hear all the funny names. But I feel like it's all that area is good, nice people, and they're the kind that see my movies. I've found that whole chunk from Chicago and Michigan, so it's perfect for me because they know me from something. It's actually hard to get away from me because if I'm not on TBS on a Grown Ups rerun, it's Benchwarmers or it's Just Shoot Me over here. So they know me. Doesn't mean they like me, but they know me. Well, that's good.
Well, they know you and they like you. Let's talk about this work ethic, because I am really impressed by this. We are of the same generation. In fact, I don't want to sound like a stalker, but I'm 84 days older than you. I did the research. So we're both.
I thought you were 84. Okay, go ahead.
High school class of 82.
Okay.
Yeah, 84, 83. Yeah, I know I look 84 days older than you, not 83. But you got the podcast going, Fly on the Wall with Dana Carvey, which I want to talk about. You got a movie working with comedian Theo Vaughn, Bus Boys, which we want to learn the status of. And then so many weekends, you're hitting the road. Is this like a body in motion has to stay in motion? You just don't know how to stop?
Yeah, I mean, it's really just too many bills. But I do like, I like to do stuff. So there's definitely half the world I feel would rather never work again. And that's kind of a normal thought. Like, I wish I could never work and quit today and just go drink margaritas. And I kind of like to feel like I do something. So I would rather stay busy. I don't skateboard as much in the pools, so that's out. I do have to try to get back into tennis and stuff. But if not, writing jokes I still like to do. And performing is the hardest because it's hard to travel. It's hard to get beat up on the road. And then you have to feel good for an hour and try to make them laugh. They're paying money. They have a babysitter. They want to have fun. So I owe that. And I want to do that well. The movies are tricky. They're hard to do. They make less of them. Me and Theo put together. Busboys wrote it, and then we paid to do it. And we just kind of, we're in the final stages now to hopefully get it out in the next few months. That was challenging but fun, and now stand up, and then I'm working on an animated show. So just basically, you throw everything against the wall. Things take a year or two to put together out here, so I don't want too many dead spots.
And let's talk about the podcast for a second. Dana Carvey and you have Fly on the Wall, which I guess started out as sort of a let's talk to everyone and anyone who's hosted or been on Saturday Night Live. And for those of us who grew up watching Saturday Night Live, not the Howard Cosell version. Do you remember the Howard Cosell version?
Yeah.
That everyone said, you watched that show? No, I watched this one 10:30 at night. You were a part of that for many years. And you guys talk about Fly on the Wall, but then you also, some days you don't have guests and you talk about current events. Yeah. And you do it in a way where you don't spill your hand on your politics too much, but you kind of bring some light into a rather gloomy time. How is that fine line where you can talk about current events, which have really got people divided, but still not alienate half the room? How do you walk that line?
I think the tricky part is we just basically do jokes, and we come from an era of SNL where they used to make fun of both sides, So you'd say, I wasn't really political. I'm from Arizona, so who's the president? Clinton. I don't know if he's a Democrat or Republican. I'm too stupid. I'm just there to write jokes for whatever the funny thing happened that week. He went to McDonald's. Okay, let's talk about it. So we grew up that way, so we kind of make fun of both sides. And the problem is we don't talk about politics, but unfortunately in this day and age, that's all people, it works into anything. People that go on dates say, oh my God, it comes up immediately, and it's not just something back here that old people talk about now. So everyone's involved and everyone has an opinion, and people try to suss out your opinion. Like you can say a joke about this and they go, oh, that would mean this, which would mean that, which would mean you're on this side. Okay, I hate you. Oh wait, maybe you're on this side. Okay, I like you again. And that's the hard part. We try to just do both, and it is very hard because people get extremely worked up in the comments on YouTube. But if you say the wrong thing.
Yeah, but that's a line you guys have successfully walked. Now, I just rewatched Nothing Personal, your post-pandemic special last night, where you talk a lot about Fauci. And so you clearly had thoughts on that. And you have thoughts on Gavin Newsom and where the billions of dollars have gone to fight the homelessness program. But that doesn't mean you're one way or another. And I have a hard time telling. I'm not trying to out you either way. So that's not where I'm going with this.
Yeah, it's grouchy Fauci. I mean, when we made fun of Joe Biden during COVID, or just toward the end of the election, no one was making fun of him. And we're from SNL, we're like, Dana's like, I would have probably played Biden, and we could probably do an impression of him here. And then we did, and then once that stuff happened with Biden, where they were saying he should go, and George Clooney told him to beat it, SNL, a lot of places lightened up about that. So then they invited Dana to come do it. So it really worked out kind of fun. They took him right off doing it on the podcast and threw him on there, and he did a great job. And if we're not coming from a mean place on either side, we're just kind of laughing about it. A lot of these talk shows, both sides are just so angry that's what gets people riled. We try to just screw off.
On the podcast, Fly on the Wall, when you don't have guests, you and Dana sit down and you kind of riff on current topics.
Yeah. We did it just now before I got on here.
Oh, you did? I was going to ask if we're going to get one this week. What I love about that is it's two comedians who are trying to make each other laugh. And when you laugh or when Dana laughs, it's not like an AM morning DJ laughs when you come on, you do a bit, you can say, I slipped on the ice, and they do this big guffaw. When a comedian laughs at another comedian, it's genuine. And it's kind of watching two guitarists go back and forth with licks.
Yeah.
That's got to be fun for you as that part of the podcast. It's great as a listener.
You know what's funny? I like that you say that because he's genuinely one of the funniest guys out there, and I think one of the top 10 all-time SNL guys. And he's just fun to bullshit with, BS with, and then also we're kind of on the same wavelength. So if we just both crack up, it's legit. And we did it again today. And then by the way, there's some stories we say, no, people take that wrong. It would go the wrong way for us as far as politics, so we got to be careful. But we do laugh a lot. We did Bill Maher the other day on his podcast, and we all cracked up because when you get comedians together, that's the fun. You just try to make the other guy laugh. Sometimes it gets a little rougher on the edges because that's what it takes to make a good comic laugh because they've seen it all.
Yeah, Nate Bargatze talks about his wife saying, "You don't hang out with me, you hang out with comedians." And you're like, "Yeah, they're a fun hang. Comedians are fun
Right. I
to
love
hang
hanging
out
out with Nate
with."
Bargatze. We laugh too. He's a very sharp guy, and that's why it's a fun world. Lauren said, "I'm scared if I retired, and I moved, there wouldn't be enough funny people."
Yeah.
And he goes, "I have to be around funny people all the time."
You're talking about Lauren Michaels here, who's
Yes,
been
Lauren
the head of Saturday Night Live for most of its existence, went away, came back. Who would you like? Someday he will have to leave the show, either by his own decision or just Father Time, right?
They carry him out, yeah.
Who's your vote right now? If you could say this person's got to take over that show and keep what it means to this country.
You know, it's a tough call because you can't really replace him. So I guess it would be someone like a Tina Fey, who I think really makes me laugh, and she's really smart and is up for the task of how hard that is. Maybe Colin Jost, because he writes a lot on there, and he's a smart kid. So I don't know. It should not be me or Dana. I know that, and I'm too lazy. And that show is tense. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's
all you hear.
Right.
But every guest that comes on, you've got a little bit of an Alec Baldwin thing going on.
I do.
You look like Alec Baldwin or not? Am I crazy?
I'll take that. Yeah, that's all right. I think my brother looks like Alec Baldwin more than I do, but
yeah, he does too.
I'll take it. Thank you. Speaking of 30 Rock, you brought it up before. Wisconsin is the home of Chris Farley. Went to Marquette. Again, we're all the same age. I have buddies who were at Marquette with him and said, "That's the real deal. What you saw is what you got."
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah.
I know it's been 28 years since he passed, but when you come to Wisconsin, you got to be thinking about your buddy.
Of course. I mean, there's no way, even Chicago, there's no way to land in that place and not think, because he's talking about Chicago and Wisconsin and Madison. And so that is really, and usually the family comes. They come to shows or we go to dinner or whatever. His mom is lovely. She's always been so funny and sharp, and she's fun. And Johnny Farley's in like a ton of commercials right now, from Amazon at Christmas to Dr. Pepper. So everyone's out there, and his uncle is Jim Farley at Ford, CEO of Ford. So I see him sometimes. And
I was not aware of that connection. I don't know how it escaped me.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
You're a news guy.
I know, right? I'm showing my hand here. Maybe I'm not
but
a great
I've talked
news
to
guy.
him because of the connection, and he has a podcast. He's a nice guy, and he runs Ford. I mean, that's a big job, but who knew?
You talk about the movies you made. Tommy Boy, a classic. Black Sheep, underrated, I think. I think it's a sweet movie in many ways because there's a sweetness to Chris Farley.
Sure.
Do you ever wonder, this comedy team that you had, do you ever allow yourself to think, man, we could have made a run of great films? And it's got to be a bittersweet feeling.
Yeah, I mean, there was one we talked about because he had done Beverly Hills Ninja, and he was like, you know what, he said, people only talk about Tommy Boy and Black Sheep. They don't want to hear about Ninja. So let's get back to doing stuff like that. And I don't think we all realized we had such a gift of being able to do movies. That we were doing them before, they would greenlight them before we wrote them. It was just like, let's just go. I'm sure we could have kept going. I'm sure even 10 years later you can get back together and do one, just for nostalgia. And that's tough. I'm lucky that Adam's still around, and Chris Rock and Schneider and these guys, and it's fun to see them, and if we ever get together or we work on something, that's great. We always talk about the old days, and we always talk about Chris. It's everybody, all the old times we were stuck in that 30 Rock having a blast. So I was lucky, and I just at least am lucky to be part of those on reruns, because they're still out there. Even Coneheads, we were in together. That was our first one.
Oh, that's right.
And he did a great job.
With the great Dan Aykroyd.
Yep.
Do you allow yourself to watch? You're flicking around. Is there anything that you've done? I mean, you've done Rules of Engagement, Just Shoot Me. I mean, you've done so many things. Do you ever say, I'm going to put the remote down and watch myself here?
I watched part of Joe Dirt the other day because I can't remember the beginning. I'm like, how does it keep going again? And it's definitely fun to watch. And on TV, they even water down a hair more. Even Tommy Boy, you lose a couple jokes, which kill me. Because I'm like, oh, well, you need every one of them. But it is fun, and I know it throws me right back into even the day of shooting and what that scene was like, and how cold it was, or how this, and it's just fun because I've been lucky to get some of those that people remember Some they don't, of course. But it's just so hard to get it right. When you're from writing to editing to the poster to the day it comes out, like so many complications. So hopefully, hopefully Bus Boys is funny. We've got one in development at Netflix. Hopefully that one's funny. The Wrong Missy I love, the one I did the last one I did at Netflix.
I was going to bring up The Wrong Missy. Yeah. Really a sweet movie, and the woman in it, her name escapes me, but she's hysterical.
Yes.
Hysterical.
Hysterical.
I don't want to take up too much of your time, so a couple quick things here before we go. Milwaukee has this reputation with musical acts where people shout out, play this or play that, and we have somewhat of an undeserved reputation, or maybe deserved, I'm not sure, for kind of the crowd talking to the performer. Do you shut that down quickly? If somebody says, "Do the massage bit," or do whatever, because or do you just let me do my bit here? How do you handle the hecklers, or do you still have them at your stage?
No, it's funny. Nikki Glazer came the other night. Well, we did a show, and she was on the side yelling her bits that she wants me to do. I can't even remember half of them, but I didn't know it was her at first, and so I was like, "Oh no, what do I got here?" But I don't really do crowd work, and there's a lot of Instagram and TikTok with crowd work, and the trick is why they do that is because they don't want to burn their act off. So if something happens just that night with the crowd, you can post that, but you're not really ruining your act. So if someone comes to see you, that's not part of it.
Gotcha.
I don't mind doing stuff that I've done before that people really like. That was Seinfeld said that. He said people do 5 specials, they only have an hour 15 of good material, like out of 5. So it's okay. He said do some of the old ones that people like because they deserve a good show, and then put in a bunch of new stuff. So I have a lot of new stuff since my special. I do miss some things I don't do anymore, and I don't interact that much with the crowd because it's on such a rhythm that you want to keep going, and sometimes just yelling a movie title or something, it just slows it down, but I can't. It's hard to get your thoughts back and all that. I would rather just keep going. Some people only want that.
Yeah. The message is let David Spade work, people. Let him go.
Yeah, message is it's better. I have 2 people with me, and I think you'll like them, and we're just going to crack up and have a fun night.
Okay, it's going to be cold, so bring that leather jacket that you brought to Minneapolis to cut your Nothing Personal, the one you can't wear outside, the one that you bought because rappers buy it.
Yeah, and they said don't wear it in the cold or in the snow or rain.
Yeah.
And I said, my winter jacket? I said,
yeah, that one. You know why you're going to fit in Wisconsin?
Why?
Because you open up Dandelion with the wave. You just want the wave. When you let somebody in,
to merge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We do that. We are wavers. We are.
You wave back. You thank.
Yeah, we wave back.
Other.
So you really hit a chord with us Wisconsinites.
I think because they're overall nice people.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm in LA where it's a little trickier.
Can I tell you a quick Dana story?
Sure.
I'm your age, like I say. I started in this business in 1987. My first live shot ever was with Randy the Macho Man Savage. You can imagine how that went. That was awful.
You're going nowhere.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. It was great stuff. And then Dana was my second one, and I was nervous. I was a kid just out of college, and he walked up. He was just on Saturday Night Live. He was just perfecting the George Bush. The church lady was huge. And I got to tell you, he settled me down. He was so kind, so nice. And when I listened to him on the podcast with you, I think, this guy sounds nice, and he really is. And I just think, I want people to know that. I tell that story about what a good dude he was. And I just love the way you guys work together.
Yeah, he is like that in real life, and I like that about him. And I've heard stories like that.
Okay. Well, we got a babysitter, my girlfriend and I. So is it kickoff really at 8 o'clock?
Oh,
I'm coming.
Yeah,
I bought my. By the way, I bought my tickets, so people think this isn't a quid pro quo thing. I'm putting money in.
I would have dialed you in for a good.
No, I don't do that. We're putting money in David Spade's pocket because he makes us laugh. Thursday in Appleton, Fox Cities Performing Center. Friday, Milwaukee here, Riverside Theater. Saturday in Chicago at the Riviera. David, thank you for all the work you've done and the laughs you've given me over the years, and I really look forward to seeing you for the first time in person Friday night.
Thank you for a non-rushed interview. I like it.
Yeah, well, I'm in no hurry. Doesn't sound like you are.
I'll see you 2 days.
Friday night? All right, cheers, man. Thanks so much.
All right, thanks, bud.